Hello there guys, so today I am clearly in Marbella with glorious sunshine and the glorious mountains, which are obviously nice and warm. No, I'm just kidding. I'm in Reykjavik in Iceland today, and I couldn't think of a topic more prevalent to me right now, more relatable to me right now than some philosophies that I've been thinking about. So I'm going to share with you 3 philosophies, okay, that have, they're not necessarily the most important you'll ever hear, but they're something that I've been thinking about and that I want to share with you today. So first major philosophy is hope is not a strategy. Very simply, hope is not a strategy. Now you'll hear a lot of people go, well, I hope to get better, I hope to do this, I hope this is going to work out, I hope, right? And the truth is, hope isn't a valuable strategy. It's just something that people say when they're not sure things are going to work out, when they're trying to come up with an excuse why they're not doing something, okay? So whenever you hear people say, oh, I hope it's going to work out, I hope that, I'm going to win the lottery, I hope that, I'm going to lose weight eventually, it's always hope and the word eventually. They always kind of follow each other, right? So hope is not a strategy. Action, planning, scheduling is what's going to get you there. So if you're just living off hope, hoping things are going to get better, hoping things are going to turn out like you're in some sort of fucking Disney movie, it's not going to happen, okay? You have to act, you have to plan, you have to schedule, you have to make a determined effort. And if you just say to me right now, I'm not one of those people, I'm going to slap you, right? Because you can change that. You are not a victim of whoever you think you are for the last few years, right? You can change that. I didn't used to be someone who planned ahead. Now I have to plan months ahead. I have to plan these things out a little bit better than I used to be able to, because I used to be quite spontaneous. I used to be able to do things on the fly because I had a lot of time and stuff, right? But I wasn't getting a lot done. I was hoping things were going to work out. I was hoping that what I was doing was enough, but it's not. As soon as you start to plan and have a strategy in place, that's when things are going to really improve for you. So the second philosophy that I have for you is health is wealth. Now it's quite common, you've probably seen it as a hashtag on Instagram, but I really want to iterate this point, is that health is wealth. Your ultimate health matters more than anything else. So right now we're on holiday, right? Technically on holiday. We've done a lot of adventure and a lot of random trips. We're going to the Sky Lagoon later today, and I'm hoping to get some footage of that as well. My faithful cameraman, my lovely younger brother, is going to get some of that footage. But in terms of health is wealth, you will be happier when you work out and when you eat better and when you drink enough water. Those 3 things are the very basics of health, right? Work out, or just move more in general, and eat the right kind of food, eat healthy food, eat good food. You know what's healthy and what's not. You don't need me to list off what fucking chicken, broccoli, veg, right? You don't need me to list off the healthy foods, right? And water as well. I have a 2.2 litre bottle. You've probably seen it in a few videos. You've probably seen me drink it in the podcast and stuff like that I do now. I always have that on me because it just makes me feel better. But the problem is, people think that because they don't feel good right now that they can't do it, that they lack motivation to do it. But the way motivation actually works is you start the thing, then the motivation to continue and keep going follows afterwards. Does that make sense? It's very true. It's very weird how that works. So motivation comes after the fact. Once you see the results, then the motivation starts to come after that. And the final sort of philosophy I have for you is quite a deep, darker one, you might say, but it's memento mori. Basically what that means is, remember you will die. Now you might think, oh, you can't be talking about death, it's quite morbid, right? But the truth is, if you remember that you will die eventually, it puts life into a brand new perspective. So I like to think about death, not in the terms of like, oh shit, I'm going to die, no, it's so depressing, like what's the point in anything? It's like, once you realize you will die eventually, you start thinking, well, why can't I do that? What happens if I just try? What happens if I just put myself out there? What is the worst that's going to happen? Because the last thing you want is to get to the end of life and go, well, I lived so carefully that I might as well have not lived at all. Is that really what you want? You want to get to the end of your life and go, well, I didn't try this because, I was worried what people thought, or I didn't try this because I was a little bit afraid that it might not work out or I might fail. It's like, no. One day you will fucking die. So why not take a chance on doing something you love? Because what's that cliche phrase? If you shoot for the moon, at least if you miss, you land among the stars, or some shit like that, right? Because 99% of people won't do anything more than the average person will. They won't do anything more than the bare minimum to survive, and that's fine. Most people's brains are wired that way, to keep you alive. Your brain's wired to look for threat, etc. It's not gonna want you to be successful and to be rich and famous. That's something that has to come from deep inside. That has to be something that you push through every single day, and it's hard, right? It's not always nice living with the thought of, oh, I'm gonna die, right? But here's the thing. So you might have seen Luke that I do a lot of videos with, that I work with as well. We run events twice a year called the Expansion Experience, right? And we had a woman who's been there for the last 3 years, I think now, and she's living with terminal bowel cancer, right? And she was given about 6 months to live at her original diagnosis. She's still here about 4 or 5 years on. And she's done more in that time than she has in, you know, the rest of her life, really, right? Which is mad. She's got books published, she's got to with her family, etc., etc. But it's the same if you look at something like Breaking Bad, for example, right? Amazing show, right? Guy lives a pretty average life up until his cancer diagnosis. And what happens afterwards? He starts to live an actual... I mean, he let's be honest, he runs a drug empire. It's not exactly the best thing to do with the rest of your life, but the truth is, like, he just takes life by the balls because of his cancer diagnosis and he realizes he's going to die. But every life comes with a death sentence, right? So the truth is, if you are, you know, scared to put yourself out there, if you're scared to do new and exciting things, if you're scared to do, you know, something a bit edgy, right? Memento mori. Remember that you will die, because if you get to the end of your life and you have a book of excuses like 800, 900 pages long, you've wasted your time. I'll be honest. People do waste their lives. I mean, you might look at me and think, oh, it's not for you to say that what someone's life is worth, but some people do waste their lives. So it's quite sad if you get the end of yours and you feel like you've wasted. I could quite happily, not gonna lie, die now, and I would be quite happy with what I've done. Obviously there's way more that I could do, but the fact is I've done quite a bit, and I'd be happy to kind of let it go. I'd be quite content. I'd be majorly pissed if I got to heaven or an afterlife, or if there's anything waiting for me. I'd be like, shit, man, I could have done so much more. But you know what? At least I've been trying this whole fucking time. So I'm 27 in about a month. Exactly. Is it exactly a month, Lewis? Exactly a month's time. I'm 27. I don't even know how fucking old I am now. But I'm 27 exactly a month's time. And I've been making these videos for 6 years now, which is quite scary. But I built up what I would call a legacy, right? I know this last point's been a bit off tangent, but you want to build up some sort of legacy, something that you can leave behind, something that is you, whether it's a really successful family, whether you have a really successful business that helps multiple people, whether you have, you know, something that entertains, whether you're an entertainer. I quite like to think of myself as an entertainer, but, you know, that's for you guys to decide. So just do something a bit more, and just remember that eventually you will die. And eventually I might die if I stand here in this fucking cold anymore. It's like -3, -5, something like that. So my face hurts, everything is sore, I can't feel my fingers. Holding this microphone's probably gonna have to peel it off. But guys, I miss making these sorts of videos. Obviously you've seen that I'm making a podcast now, so please check that out. It's the Above Average Podcast, available on Apple Music and Spotify as well. You'll probably find it on the YouTube or wherever it is you're watching this as well. But guys, I'm gonna go enjoy the Sky Lagoon now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Girlfriend.
Good for you, Adam.
When I get to the bits, innit?
Well done.
It is easier to submerge your cold plunge straight to the sauna. My glasses will just come steam. That's what we
Oh, does it have to rain too?
Oh yeah.
Salt cook, no idea. Ooh, like a it's like cold, warm, cold, warm.